So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Jupiter in the 7th house of your Dashamsha chart. As in what happens when Jupiter is in the 7th house of your D10 Dashamsha, which is a chart related to your obligation to society, which is a chart that is connected with your work, all the details of your work, who you are presented like in the world when you're working. It's kind of like Dashamsha is actually, in a way, Arudha, the Arudha Lagna of your birth chart. So obviously, if you do not know, if you have Jupiter in the 7th house of your Dashamsha, or what your planetary details are in that chart, along with all the astrological details for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy. So, 7th house, Jupiter is a very neutral position. It's not doing anything dramatically bad or dramatically good, you know. But here, one thing you will see is that a person benefits tremendously through partnership. Whether it's a work partnership in a workspace where you have a job, as most of you do, where when you partner up with someone, you tend to gain more knowledge about the work. You tend to gain more perspective about the project. You tend to learn things even outside of the scope of your work. In business, the partnership can blossom. And again, this is not something I am saying just based, on every single Jupiter out there. Because I don't know how your Jupiter is in the Dashamsha. There could be impact of malefic planets. There could be different house rulerships of Jupiter that are going to change and mold this particular perception. But one of the most common themes is one will gain tremendous amount of knowledge through partnership. And especially you will see the moment a mentor comes in your work, whatever work that may be, you could be a farmer, you could be an IT professional, you could be a scientist. Okay. When a mentor comes in, you see your life progress. You see promotions happen. You see, all kinds of benefits coming into play. But also one thing you will see with Jupiter when it goes into the 7th, marriage becomes very important for a certain dynamic result to come in your life. Meaning, I'm not saying good or bad result. I'm saying there will be a major, major change with marriage. You will notice that. Now, depending upon your Jupiter, you will notice what that change is. But Jupiter, especially when it's strong, can enable a person through marriage, which is, we're talking about your birth chart and Navamsha, right? But in the Dashamsha, it'll also impact. It'll impact in every single chart. If you look at even Trimsamsa chart, the D30 chart of understanding health, illnesses, including the personality of a woman, you will see marriage impacting there as well. And so here, one of the big benefits that come in if Jupiter is in a strong position is one's ability to learn knowledge of business. One also becomes very respectable in society with Jupiter in the 7th. And again, and depending upon, the sign placement of Jupiter, how Jupiter is, you will even see that usually such people will have their children take over their work. Whether it's, let's say if you're an IAS officer, well, what could happen is your children themselves might follow in the footsteps of being an IAS officer. It may not be your particular position because it's not like it's a business. But if, let's say, there's a business, family business, well, your children will take over that business. They will find that interest in taking over that particular business. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my analysis of Jupiter in the 7th house of your D10 Dashamsha chart. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. If you want to know where your Jupiter is placed, all your astrological details for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. And actually, one thing I forgot with Jupiter in the 7th, because remember, Jupiter in the 7th is looking at the ascendant. Okay? It's looking at the ascendant. And it's in the 7th. And so it becomes a very important part of one's dharma to spread knowledge, to spread information, regardless of what your work is. Again, even if you're a farmer, you will see with this particular Jupiter, you will teach other people how to become farmers. It's something that will happen, especially it will happen after marriage. Okay, so just wanted to give you that. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.